Everything in your life's about to change. You don't understand how much yet. And I'm trying to do the best I can to make it a little bit easier. And for some of you, you're going to take this skill and do amazing shit with it. You're going to live a totally different lifestyle. And I don't want you to be selfish with it. When you see somebody in need, help them, not when they ask you for it either. Now, I'm not talking about, I'm going to help them by teaching them. And that's not what the fuck I said. Help them. They need something. Provide it. Do it anonymously. You see somebody in the grocery store, they're pushing a cart around. You can read their face. You can see it. They're broke. They're come behind them and pay them. Tell the cashier, I got them. I do that every time I go to the grocery store. When I first got with my wife, she was like, what are you doing that for? She didn't understand it. I said, never tell me that again. Don't ever speak to me about it. Don't ever ask me to justify why I'm doing it. You want to touch somebody's heart, you do that. And when they turn to you and they say, you just let me have enough money for the rest of the week. The rest of the month, I don't have my rent money, but I can feed my kids now because of that. It costs you nothing, man, to do stuff like that. It costs you nothing. And think about how many times you know you were standing right next to somebody that could have used a hand like that and you didn't do a fucking thing because it felt uncomfortable. When you live your life like this and you want to do it for people, and I've had people say, no, I don't want you to do that. Some of them actually cussed me out. I didn't ask you for a handout. It's going to happen sometimes. But you want to leave an impression, a good one. And when you start doing things like that for other people, it's contagious and you want to do it more. And it changes you. Because as a 20-year-old, I was a real arrogant prick and I was self-centered and it was all about me. I never would have helped anybody else in the store. I never would have gave them anything. I never would have bought them a car. I never would have gave them a house. I never would have done any of those things. I never would have paid for their children to get through school. I never would have gave their kids clothes, school supplies the entire time they had their whole schooling. I never would have done those things. I was all about me. I had to make me feel good. And the more I did for me, the shittier I felt about everything I was doing. I felt like a vacuum. I couldn't fill it. Everything I tried to do that was all about me, looking good, driving this, living like this, spending that. The more I poured into it, the more empty I was. The more money I made, the less I felt I had any. I didn't have any substance, none. So you have to have a planned direction what you're going to do when you have this money coming in. What are you planning to do with it? I see a lot of people. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be this and this. It all changes when it's all about them. Because when I was 20, I was the same way. And don't don't think that that won't help you be a better person when you start doing, because it will. And then when you start trading larger, you start thinking to yourself, you know what? I'm not taking this trade to do something, for me financially, which drives people into dumb decisions, like it did with me when I was 20.